what they used to tell us when we was younger, you can be anything you want to be, bro. It's
Although, yeah.
open, man. It's man. Life
It's
is
like
gosh,
yeah, it's like you're going into a cave with a torch. You know,
right,
you light a good amount of the cave up whenever the torch is here. You know,
right,
you can see a decent amount.
but
And
not
like
everything.
as you walk, you can see a little bit more and a little bit more.
Yeah,
But you
yeah,
don't want to look, but you can't see too far behind you. You don't want to look too far behind you, but you don't
right,
also
right.
want to look too far in front of you.
Yeah, yeah.
You might make some stupid ass decisions based on that too. So it's
So
yeah.
immortal or mortal, which one would you pick? Like based off what you know now, which one would you pick?
Well, I mean, based on what I know now, every you're already immortal, but I guess it depends on what you mean by immortal because at this stage I know that my soul is immortal,
Mm.
but I know that I'm not at a stage to consciously
I'm talking more in the physical form, like not
right
like in
and
spirit, but like yeah,
that's see that's what I was saying. I don't know
yeah.
that I'm refined or purified enough to the point to that level in the sense of like physical immortality. Like I'm not a master, so to speak.
Mm-hmm.
Or I haven't proven to myself that I'm a master, I
Right, right,
guess.
right.
But
And when you figure it out, tell me, give me the,
yeah.
give me the details,
Hey
So,
man,
but
I'm giving breadcrumbs. I might lead you to somewhere weird, but like shit, I'm leaving the breadcrumbs.
hey, what we just say about life, about that roller coaster, man. Like I'm here on the
Yeah.
ride, bro. The meditation, I'm here on the ride. Hey, if you going, if all I know, you made it to the end goal and you got results, I'm not worrying about the
No,
what I got
that's
to go through
exactly
to
what
get there.
it's like.
So,
But see, and that's everyone and everything too. I mean, you think
mm,
about the greatest philosophers in the world or the greatest
right.
scientists in the world. You know, it's like people have this energetic resonance with these types of beings, and it's like they'll dedicate whole lifetimes to their work because
Mm,
it's like there's a very deep and profound understanding of the human existence where you realize that you were born out of the demand of other beings.
mm,
You realize that you were born to serve. You can't be born for anything else. That's all there is. So whether it's this way or that, you were born to serve, right? And so once you kind of understand that part of it, there's something that kind of like stops focusing so much on making the body immortal,
mm,
but starts making the soul purified.
like
Because when the soul starts to become purified, then it's like it might be smoother for you to die this life and then slip
mm,
into the next thing. It'll be an easy and it but you don't know. It's like I said earlier. It's like you have the torch and you're going through the
mm,
cave and you don't really know until you know.
mm, mm,
But that's where I'd stand on. I would definitely say that it's 100% possible. It's absolutely doable.
right.
But I mean, you're not going to hear about it. Not this stage. I mean, you're
That
you're not going to hear about it from those people that are supposedly the masters, as
yeah.
unless they come to you directly. And if they come to you directly, like internally, then you're not going to say anything because they're going to be like, you know, don't. Well, they won't tell you not to say anything probably, but
But yeah.
you won't want to say anything because it's like I guess unless you're, I don't know. I guess it really depends. I don't know. To me, I guess that's kind of like a bias for me because
Mm,
I don't know. It's just too easy to be tricked. I don't know. It's very easy to be tricked. And so like
that is true. That's true.
what I do know though about benevolent beings is that they will always offer free will. Always, always, always. They never want to intervene on something if it's going to cause more confusion or like
Mm,
just like how if a kid walks up to you and asks you how kids are made or something and
mhm.
you're like, "Oh, well,
Well, a
you
duck.
know,
What the bird came
you
and
may
dropped you
say,
off in front of my door.
yeah,
Like I
cuz
love that
yeah,
story. I love that, bro. Like what,
yeah.
bro? And
Cuz we're basically children in these altered states Like
Yeah.
people take drugs and shit all the time, and they just end up in the fairy world, and they don't know what to fucking do. They don't know what they don't know the Newton's laws of the fucking fairy world. Like
Yeah.
they don't.
Yeah.
They might, but they might have not remembered that they did. And so
Mm.
when they get in the situation, it's like their soul is able to be stable in it, but they can't really comprehend anything. They're like, "The fuck is going on?"
Mm.
But they haven't like it's just like taking only steroids and like just taking buffers, but then not going through as much of the work, which that's might be a bad example because I know really good people that are actually very healthy and balanced with the way they take things, and they take it more of like a medicine, as like a in note like in the same way that I do meditation or yoga or
Mm.
supplements, stuff like that. That's how they use them. But it's just it's again, it's not like a it's not so much of is the action right or wrong. It's more about um what you're able to do with what you have. And that's something that we don't really focus on a lot because we see some shit and we already have all these conditions made up because of trauma and
Mm.
stuff. And so we immediately are able to see the dissonance between here and here instead of the connection. It's like we feel the disruption, but we don't feel the connection between things.
Mm.
So it's I forgot what the actual point was. My bad, dude.
No, no, no. We was talking about basically I asked you the question about if you have the choice to pick, you pick immortal or mortal, and then that's when we kind of went down that rabbit
Oh yeah,
hole.
yeah. So I
But
basically already answered it. Yeah, I remember
yeah,
answering
no,
it
you
now.
did. No, she said man or simple. I fed him, turned on Spider-Man, and now he's laying with my Hello Kitty blanket. Not a thought, noggin in his noggin. So that being said, Jordan, when you if would you say you were a simple guy when it comes to dating? Like, would you?
Most part simple, but I can be difficult, like in the
Mm,
sense that I like my alone time and I have a lot of
I
personal
respect
meditation
that.
time.
I respect that.
Um, yeah, it can, according to my, how I don't want to say according to my ex, but it seems like from the data that I've gathered thus far in my
Right.
experience with women.
Hey, we ain't. Hey, this is judge free zone, brother. Judge free zone. Ain't no.
Right,
Hey.
right. It seems that I would a lot of times seem like I was abandoning her whenever I would leave the
Mm,
situation. Yeah. And that's fair. That's absolutely fair. For me though, the way I perceived that was just not saying stupid shit that we don't mean and then waiting until we're cooled down to come back to it. That's
mm,
how I approach most things. I'm like, all
mm.
right, I'm angry, there's a demon, I'm gonna go exercise
Hey, 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 I
it.
agree with that. So, like, what's the saying? From my mom. My mom used to tell me, which I'm pretty sure it's a common saying. It's like, if you don't have nothing nice to say, don't say it at all. So,
Yep, go
like,
cleanse that shit. Go to God about that
go
shit. Like,
go do meditate, do whatever you need to do for men or women, but for sure for a man, because I feel like the situation can get really ugly. But I
well,
feel like
women
it's
admit
best
it
for you
I
just to go take a deep breath. It's not that serious, and come back and talk about the situation, like you said, at a moment of time where you are more calm. When y'all
Mhm.
can actually just think about the process of what you're trying to say, right? So
Yeah,
I do agree
see,
with you.
and I did mess up. We all mess up in relationships, man. It's always 50-50 for sure.
Nobody's perfect.
And exactly. And where I messed up was like I knew that, I well, I don't want to say that I'm not trying to say that I knew that, like I'm better with emotions, but like, but I knew that um essentially when you think about it, how long have women been oppressed? Like over how many, like in our species, like how long have women been oppressed?
It's
So
been
like
a yeah.
the nervous system shapes itself a certain way based on the environment that it's given, right?
Right.
So men were oppressing women to the extreme. So that means that essentially the nervous system energetically, because it's basically the energetic receiver for the spirit, like the nervous system. Um, Essentially you and your brain's like the antenna. If you think your brain like the antenna, and then like there's the
Mm,
grounding cables at the bottom, like the tree, whatever. But anyway, um, with with women and men, it seems to me at least, that they developed over time, or the nervous system developed over time in such a way that made their vasopressin chemical lessen. And vasopressin is the chemical that's responsible for, or it's the expression of a spiritual thing that allows us to feel protection or protected, if that makes any sense. And so I think what it is that men are always, their energy, their aura is always expected to be protected,
Mm,
right? But
mm-hmm,
women don't understand that it's just the energy that they need a lot of times. Like, because
mm,
I think most times it's like they expect you to give something that makes them feel protected. And so I think that's why a lot of women, because I think a lot of women got with guys that didn't understand that. And so, and they've been with a lot of them that didn't understand that. And
mm,
so they started making all these crazy ass ideas of what they need to have in a man to be happy. And it's like this long ass
mm-hmm,
Walmart list of, like,
mm-hmm,
the whole month's groceries. And it's like a
mm-hmm.
$7,000 tab. Like,
More than $7,000, hell.
bro.
But yeah,
But see, the
yeah,
thing
you
is
right.
it's like they have a $7,000 tab, but if any friction happens between any of those, it increases the
Mm-hmm,
probability of an explosion, right? And so it's like, but I didn't understand this whenever I was just, leaving the situation and meditating, or whatever. I understood after we actually broke up, because then you can kind of look back and be like, oh, I see. Because you don't really see what you pick up from another person and what another person picks up from you until after you've had
mm-hmm.
some time away from each other.
That's true.
And because I mean,
Don't know what
you're
you had until it's gone. Yeah,
yeah,
that's the
because
saying.
because
But yeah.
because that's yeah, because like, we again, if you're just thinking about yourself as a bunch of protons and electrons and shit, like, you're literally every day you're with somebody, you're like building up all this energy with each other, and out
Mm-hmm.
here fucking and shit, or whatever it is,
Yeah.
and
No,
out
yeah.
here having fun, going all these places, but you're doing it
Yeah.
together as like a completely, almost a separate being. Because the thing is like, okay, you meet a girl, right?
Mm-hmm.
She has an idea about what she needs to look like to you, and you have an
Mm-hmm.
idea of what you need to look
Mm-hmm.
like for her.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Okay,
exactly. Exactly.
those two entities is what first meets, right? The masks, right? The
Mm-hmm.
masks meet. And so once you're able to, like, talk her out of, taking her mask off, you know
Ooh.
she starts to, I guess you could say, trust you more, right? And so she starts to feel
Yeah.
more
It's like
protected by
the
your
wall
energy,
come the wall coming down, the guard coming down. Yeah.
right? But at the same time, that means she's going to trust every single word just as much, just that much
Mm.
more. Every
Yeah.
single word, every
Yeah.
single word.
Man, dude. So
And
you
so,
so
and go ahead.
so that being said, so do you think that's why when you do something to like disrupt that trust is what you saying, that trust, like when you do something, like women kind of take it to another level of like it takes a lot more to, I guess you say, that if the bridge is burnt, to like to rekindle, to connect that bridge back, right, for women. Like so because like they, like you said, they have the guard is up, so when you break that guard down, so but if mama used me, if Jay with this, so if this girl A, like she trusts me, she let her guard down, and then say a couple of years later or months to a couple of years later, I do something and it breaks that trust. Do you think like for a lot of some women that it's very hard for them to, or for me to gain her trust back because it was a process of letting her guard down already. So it's like, and then like you said, she trusted every word you said. Now it's like, damn, can I even trust anything he
Can I?
says at that point?
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
exactly. And
Mm,
I think it mostly has to do with what point we're actually at when we get in a relationship, because
mm,
I think, at least in my experience with women, there's a lot of
mhm,
times where they still have a lot of residual karma, or like a lot of residual patterning um,
Mm,
left over from like things that they just haven't resolved.
hmm.
And we all do. We all do. I'm not saying I didn't. I
No, no,
definitely
no.
did,
But
you know,
in this
but
situation, we talking about women. But yeah.
yeah, but we also have to come to a point where well, not we come to a point, but there has to be an understanding of like, for me, I did not want to be content. And I didn't want to be
Mm,
content because I wanted to stay growing. I basically had just had a spiritual awakening,
hmm,
and I just wanted to grow. I just wanted to grow, and I wanted to,
hmm,
and so everything was about, being able to do what we intuitively felt like we wanted to go do. Like sometimes we'd go out to a bar, or like sometimes we'd, whatever it was that we would do. But to put God above all of that. But the thing is like, if you've never been content at all in your life, you
hmm.
can't just want to grow, because growing involves breaking down. So like, she had never, well, at least in my last relationship, she had never, since she was very young, ever had a time where she was just content for a while. So she
Mm,
was always forced to go, right?
mm,
See, I did. I was forced to go when I was younger too, but it was different for me. It wasn't like it. I didn't have as much. Um, like most of my trauma was unforced error. It was my own fault. It was my own ignorance, kind of thing. Most of it. Some of it wasn't. Some of it was, personal and stuff like that. But it wasn't
mm,
as personal as any of the women I've dated. Like the women that I've dated, the things they say that they've went through is fucking ridiculous compared to what I went through. Like it's crazy the shit they've gone through. Um, and so what I started to realize is, number one, people, we grow stronger every single day,
mm,
whether you think we do or not. Your soul grows every single day, like the strength.
mm,
Um, Now the thing about it is we don't a lot of times change our habits, and so we keep doing the same things that we think we enjoy because we think that it's going to make us feel better, or it's going to make us feel more connected,
hmm,
because it did yesterday.
mm,
But we're putting more and more of our spiritual energy into making each thing that we do an actual reality,
mm,
like a real reality, as far as like, this is all that there is, this limited. Like if I smoked weed every single day since I was 10 years old, you know what I
hmm,
mean? And I, like, there's no way that I'm going to not, if that makes any sense, be shaped by it. You know what I mean?
hmm,
And we don't, all of us, we don't really, hardly any of us have a real deep connection with like what the spiritual intelligence of the things that we're doing really is. And so going back to what I was talking about earlier, in my last relationship, she was making a lot of things real that weren't really real. And
mm,
what I mean by that is, I would be hanging out with a friend, and I messaged her. I'm like, hey, like I don't have Wi-Fi out here. I'll message you tomorrow at like 1:30, because that's when I'm coming back to the place, to the house or
mm,
whatever. Be able to message you then. I get a message around 1:30, 1:20, 1:30. I was just about to message her. I had just walked in the house, man. She was like, well, if you were gonna fuck some bitch, you could have just let me know. And I'm like, that's not a real thing. That's not even real.
Oh man, false assumptions. Oh my goodness. We got
But it's like,
ooh.
but it's like, where I fucked up though was, I continuously saw that I was like, it was hurting her for me to be with her. Like that's like, and I knew it. I knew it, but I just kept trying to like be better and do, righter, and like I didn't want to let it go. And
Right.
so yeah, we tend to like hold on to things a little bit too long, I think,
Mm.
most people.
Man, my grandpa on my mom's side, they've been married for over like 30 years, bro. And I asked my grandpa, I was like, grandpa was like, what if you can give me any advice for relationships, what would it be? And he has said that always say yes to your wife and Yeah, always say yes to your wife and say okay, honey, and everything will work out. So that being said, I feel like sometimes even when he said even when you know you're right, sometimes it's just best to just to say yes. Relationship, you are fighting every day, man. It's a freaking
Hmm.
battle. It's like who gonna win today at this point, you know? But like, you know what I'm saying? Like, like dang, like it's crazy, man, because you go, it's like you're going to sleep with the enemy, waking up with the enemy, and the enemy know everything about you. Because what's the saying that the enemy of my enemy is my friend? Like I feel like that's the sometimes they can be in a relationship. That's the enemy of my
Yeah,
enemy is my
literally.
friend.
Women generally don't generate as much vasopressin in the same way that men
Mm,
don't create as much oxytocin.
okay.
So that's why it's easy for men to fall head over heels, like easy.
Mm,
Like I
yeah.
mean, shit, I could go all in for a,
Hey, she walking, she jogging. I'm like, that's my wife. That's my
man,
wife. I don't know what it
man,
is about her, but that's my wife.
man. But see, women that now they have like a lot more oxytocin because it's an off
Mm,
balance that we created by oppressing them, right?
mm,
So essentially, women had to manipulate literally just to survive for a lot, still do in a lot of
mm,
contexts for a long time. Like this is not a new thing. We've been doing this shit for thousands of years.
mm.
And so the thing that happens whenever we first connect is I have an actual drawing while I was listening to what you were saying.
All right. I see you doing something over there. I'm like, what is
Yeah, we were making masks and shit.
yeah.
But so what I created here is
Why I
so
slipped over like I can see it, bro. Like the camera only
yeah,
go only a certain way, but like I can see, I can see it.
okay, now we can see. So this is what I was talking about earlier, like when you meet with a woman, right? Or when you meet
Mm-hmm.
with somebody, right? So most of us, this is assuming that your personality is in your head. Most people are kind of seated in their head. They're thinking logically about the situation, about like how they can respond, or like they're feeling their emotions, or the in their head. Anyways, this is where the mask is kind of like born, right? This is where all of our
Mm-hmm.
different kind of like personalities and stuff, as far as our physical representation of them in the moment. So you have eye contact, you connect with the eyes. As soon as you connect, what happens is a sphere starts to build. And really, it's not a sphere at first. It's like this irregular, like bullshit ass looking, because there's a bunch of like random irregular patterns that kind of like meet. If you ever like look up and then you kind of meet and then you kind of like look back down.
Right. Hey, I stare him down. I stare him down. I'm like, I'm trying to look into
I'm
your
fitting to,
soul.
yeah, see, but you
I'm
should.
trying to look
And the
into.
reason why, is because when you stare them down, you're breaking down that mask, if that makes
Mm,
any sense. So it's
hmm
like as you break down the mask, what happens is more of that energy goes into the center. Because what's
mm,
happened is as the breakdown, each one of those breakdowns has an energy release. So just like in meditation, or like when you're exercising and you feel the warmth of like or like if you squeeze your muscles and then you relax and then you just breathe in and you
hmm
feel like your cells kind of vibrate, they're
hmm
like
Like kind of like
active.
for me, it's like a warm sensation working out, like a warm sensation like going through your
Yes,
body. But yeah.
yes, that's your chi, or your like your life force, if that
Hmm
makes any sense. um and your electricity connecting through your cells, but anyway, uh so what happens is she starts to give into that, right? So at some point she gives into it enough to where she creates like another like mask, right?
hmm
And we all do this, but I'm just saying specifically because you're talking about, I don't know why women do this. um and all of that still has to do with like her ideas of reality that have nothing to do with the relationship and stuff, because this guy right here, this guy that's being born, is the relationship. That's where it starts.
hmm
See, a lot of times what happens is once you connect through the mind or whatever, then her heart kind of opens, your hearts kind of connect. So then
Hey,
another
move
connection
it over
here
some, Jordan.
happens.
Move
Oh
it over
shit, my
some, Jordan.
bad.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah,
There you go. That's good.
a
That's good.
connection here happens. and then it starts to build, and they all already kind of connect a little bit in the same way, but it's like I was saying before, the more it may not feel activated at first, but the more the mass kind of break down and the more energy is released from each spark, the
Hmm.
bigger that field gets and the more you'll feel that connection open or
Hmm.
come into being, so to speak. And so, and then you have your root. So the root does the same thing. And eventually, after conversation, as long as you're able to center it correctly, because you have energy flow going this way, because it's from you to her, and you've also got it from her to you, and then same way down here, right?
That's why they say this is so funny. But that's why they because you pointed out there at the feet, and they say that if wherever the woman, or I guess say man, but in this situation the woman, wherever her feet, wherever the direction her feet is pointing, that is what she's thinking about. So I don't know if that's what you going for,
Yeah.
but that's what they say. So if her feet pointing not
Interesting.
towards you, so you might she trying to leave, she trying to go, she ain't trying
Yeah.
to talk to you. So yeah,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
continue, but continue.
It's because that center resonates with something else, and it
Hmm.
literally pulls her magnetically towards that person because she's
Mm,
focused on that center. See, if she
right.
wasn't focused on that center, if she was being like here, then she would be able to choose wherever the fuck she wanted to be, kind of
Exactly.
thing. So anyway,
Exactly.
so so eventually these three they start to build so much that they all connect into one big circle, and it
Mm,
grows mathematically. And what happens sometimes, or
a
what eventually
baby.
has to happen, that right, it grows. The relationship grows
Right.
bigger than both of the people, literally. And so then the relationship becomes this whole fucking heathen ass fucking just pain in the ass to deal with, where you're just like, I don't even want to go home with this bitch. You're like,
Oh, for real,
like, I don't even want to go home tonight.
bro, your home supposed to be. They say when you lay your head, it's supposed to be your safe place, your haven, bro. Like, bro, I don't want to go
Yes.
home, bro. You know it's bad when
Yes.
you ready to be at work, bro. Which I know is people probably have deal with their relationships that you rather be at work, bro, than being home. That's kind of crazy. It's
Yeah.
kind of sad,
Well,
bro.
the whole idea stems from this, where it stems from like both people feeling like they need to, I guess you could say, like have some sort of mask or whatever. And then
Hmm.
because what happens is when that child, once they make enough connection for that child to grow bigger than them both,
Mm,
what they don't realize is that child was grown because of the boundaries they had set for the types of person that they wanted.
mm,
So you see, both people create their own limitations. We only create
mm,
limitations in order to break them with God together.
mm,
And so that's why you can't actually be in a successful relationship if the other person is not ready to grow in, like, with God, or like follow those things. And
mm.
it's not like a thing that is downing another person, but it's like picking a fruit too early. You know what I'm saying? Who wants to pick a fruit when it's not ripe and then eat that bitch? You try to bite that bitch and it hurts, it's
It
bitter.
just hard, yeah. It just
Fucking yeah, like nobody wants that bullshit. Like
it looked good. It looked
it looked
good,
it,
but
yeah, it
like,
looked
hey,
it, but
when
it
you
was a
take a
little
bite of that
early. It
thing,
was a little
you know what I'm
early.
saying? My teeth felt out, like damn, like blood. You know what I'm saying? It just, god
and,
dang, just
and some of them
yeah.
some of them fruits are literally poisonous if you eat them bitches too early.
Whew.
They have to be just right or they kill your bitch ass.
I'm Jordan. I'm gonna have to, bro. We see you hitting some points, man. You hitting some points right now, man. We can keep this thing going, but we gonna have to. Gosh, this it was a good episode, brother.
Yeah,
I want to
man, it
keep
was
going
fun.
so bad, man. I want to keep going so bad, but like I just know I want to keep it a good link because I don't have to do the editing and everything, and I'll send it over to you when you can get to it. But man, good starter, good
Fun
starter, man.
shit.
I'm just gosh, man, the guy knew. Man, I was talking about my mom about you, honestly, with some other people because I had told her I was like, man, yeah, I got a good buddy of mine from that I knew from school, and he reached out to me based off I guess you seen me doing my podcast and videos, and so you were showing love and all that good stuff, and I was like, yeah, like God truly working mysterious ways,
Yeah, man.
like I was like he reached out to me. And I didn't have to do anything. And what's funny is, Jordan, I don't know if I told you already, I was looking for people in the process when you reached out to me. I was looking for people. I kid you not. I was looking for people to
I
be a
love it.
guest, to be a co-host. And I had a lot of people, but it wasn't working out. It wasn't working out because either they had stuff going on in their personal life or they would say yes, but really don't want to do it. You know what I'm saying? So
Right,
I was like,
right.
God, like, I want to find somebody that's a co-host. I think it'd be more interesting for the podcast, and I know it can go many more places, just me myself solo. Um, and then here you come, bro. You reached out, send me like this long paragraph, like, hey man, like just blah blah blah.
We ain't even
Like,
got to aliens, conspiracy theories. We
bro,
ain't
you
even
see what
got
I'm
to.
saying, bro? Like this is hey, bro, all in all love, brother, all love, brother. I appreciate you, and I
That
first,
shit's funny.
most of all, I thank God, man. But I appreciate you for reaching out, and I just feel like this is really gonna go some places. I feel good. Like I was already excited when we talked last week. I was like, I was really mad at myself because I was like, bro, I really want to start and get the ball rolling. But I'm happy this is episode one, and God said the same. This thing can go many places, man. I believe in that manifesting, speaking into the existence. And but I
Facts.
appreciate you, brother. I
Now
appreciate
the
you taking
pleasure's
this time
mine.
out
Pleasure's mine, bro.
to
You,
talk,
hey man,
bro.
you
And
you you have enough legs in the, or you have enough a good enough dig in the ground. See, I tried to start mine, and it was like everything happened with Charlie Kirk, and there was some other stuff that happened before that where I was just like,
yeah,
oh yeah,
yeah.
motherfuckers got to start talking. Like I'm finna get on the podcast, and I got everybody gassed up. I was like, yeah, dude, I would have
Yeah,
a podcast and everything. And then like
yeah.
3 days later, I'm like, damn, there's a lot I need to like like work on first before I just. And then it was perfect because I saw that you were a host, and so I was like, oh,
Yeah,
nice, I can start. I can start here,
yeah.
and then I can grow